Thank you so much. Those who wish, I am enticing you to come and sit in front because it's cooler here. Are you
Sit
getting
in front.
enticed?
It'll be more intimate with
Are
the
you
author.
duly enticed? Come sit in front. We're going to talk about money. So it's going to be an interesting topic. All right. Come, come. Okay, so Aparna Devagiri is my name. I am Bangalore based and I worked in corporate India for about 26 years. Right, different companies, different sectors. So I worked in engineering, manufacturing, in technology, pharmaceuticals, sales and marketing organization. So being in HR, people are the same everywhere, right? Pretty much. Generally, the problems, issues will be the same. So I was able to make these changes. And something happened about 7 years ago that actually led me to write this book. And the book is called The Professional Woman's Handbook, Navigating Choices for Success. Yeah? And so let me tell you the story behind this, and then I'm going to read a section from the book, right? So about 8 years ago, I was working in 3M India, and I was actually quite happy there. It's a lovely company to work in, wonderful colleagues. Everything was going fine. I was getting paid well. Everything was good. But then something was missing. Yeah, exactly, right? Something was missing. Something was not, I wish there was something else. And at that time, I had been told by many people that, hey, you know what, you're a good coach, and why don't you take up coaching and, become a mentor and so on. And that was something I was naturally doing. So then I said, okay, and then I signed up for this coaching certification program. Now, as part of the program, you get coached, right? So you see the other side of it and you become empathetic to your clients later on. But it was a way of learning. And there I came across this tool called the Wheel of Life, right? Many of you might have seen it, but it's a reasonably simple tool, but when debriefed well by a coach, it can be life-changing, which is what happened to me. Basically, in the Wheel of Life, what we do is you look at various aspects of your life. So it could be spouse or partner, your family, money, work and career, me time, health, right? Because life is not about one thing. If I want to have a goal, it can't be one goal. I want to become a successful professional, but I can't do that if I don't have my health. I can't do that with less money. I can't do that without taking care of the family. So especially for women professionals, it's a little more complicated. So I did this exercise, and the outcome of that for me, and one thing that really hit me was that in terms of finances, I felt I am where I ought to be. Like to take care of my husband and me, and he's also working, I'm also working, I have enough money. So then the question was, if I have money, what am I doing in a corporate job, right? What else am I getting out of this job? And I realized, I mean, I have good friends, but then I can have friends even without the job. I have good experiences, but I can gain experiences even without a corporate job. So then why am I here? So then I left and I started off on my own. And I realized that I was able to access coaching, right, as a support system for myself. And there are a number of professionals who aren't able to do so, which is where this book came about. Now, the content of the book is actually applicable to everybody, right? But then I spoke to this brand marketing person, and she said, you try and sell a product to everybody, nobody will buy it. Yeah, so you need to focus on one group. So I said, yeah, women professionals, because that's what I do. I work with women professionals, I run workshops, I do one-on-one coaching, I help out wherever I can, I mentor entrepreneurs, research. It's all under that umbrella of women professionals. So then I wrote this book, which is actually based on that tool, The Wheel of Life. So this is called The Professional Woman's Handbook. It's actually like a workbook. So the whole thing, there are a number of questions that are asked, and there are spaces for you to write in your answers. So it's like a journey that you take. It's full of stories. One of them, hopefully I have time, I will read for you today. And yeah, it can, it's an opportunity for you to understand yourself better. So one of the aspects that I've written about is about finances, is about money. And let me read a little bit about this, yeah? A couple of years before turning 50, I decided to follow my passion. Following my passion meant leaving a well-paying, reasonably high-profile job in a well-known multinational. If I had to state the biggest reason I was able to make this change, it is that I had enough money saved up to give my husband and I the confidence that we could sustain our lifestyle without a regular income. For me, money has always been important. It gave me a sense of security and self-worth. I can distinctly remember times in my life when we just about ensured the EMIs were paid and somehow managed our expenses till the end of the month. But I also learned that paying too much attention to money can be disastrous. On the other hand, I have friends who are supremely confident about their financial future and believe in living the good life. This means parties, trips abroad, parties, clothes, everything to make the present more pleasant. And then I have other friends who have families in their hometowns who are dependent on them. So saving anything for them is a dream. They can't even imagine saving. And they must budget things month to month. And I realized all these are valid positions. There is no right and wrong in this. What is right for me may not be right for you. Right? We live in a society where the money you earn is seen as directly proportional to your social worth. Yeah? So if I earn more money, I am seen as socially more, worthwhile. More people will swarm around me. Yeah? But is that the only reason money is important? For some, it's a way to manage one's day-to-day. For others, it's a safety net. For others, it represents power, it represents a lifestyle, security, and so on. So how much money I need is actually a function of what I want versus what I have. And I'll stop reading for a bit. And the logic I'm trying to give here is really that, when it comes to finances, there will always be wants. And there will be, so what I need or what I want is one thing. What I have to be able to invest in that is another. And what I have, the money I have is something I can't necessarily control. In the sense, I get paid X. I can't suddenly decide that, hey, no, you know what, I want 2X. Nobody is going to give it to me. But I can adjust what I want, right, to suit what I have. Yeah, so a person who is rich and who is poor then becomes the question, right? A poor person, in their mind, is someone whose wants are more than what they're able to fulfill. So there's always that hunger that, oh my God, I couldn't get this, I couldn't get that. Yeah? And then I go on to talk about different personalities, how they manage this and so on. I'm going to read one personal story. So every section has a personal story that is shared here, and then there are a bunch of questions that are asked. And this is Zahira's story. Yeah? When money and relationships seem like oil and water. Zahira was from a lower middle class family and had completed her MBA from a mid-level college in Bangalore. While not academically brilliant, Zahira was smart and worldly wise. When it was time for campus interviews, Zahira fared well and got an offer from a mid-sized company. She handed over her entire salary, except perhaps something for her own expenses, to her parents as they depended on her for financial support. Zahira was now 28, and her parents wanted her to get married. They were looking at a boy, also an MBA from Mumbai. He had a steady job and his family seemed quite nice. Her whole family was thrilled with the proposal. Her mother especially excited to have found such a good family for Zahira. But Zahira wasn't able to enjoy this process. There was something worrying her. What do you think was worrying Zahira? Found a good boy. He's earning well. She'll go off to Mumbai. What do you think was worrying her? Exactly, absolutely, yeah. And this was something she didn't share with anyone. What would happen to her parents once she got married? Yeah. What if her in-laws didn't want her to send money to her parents? Because while she's earning and it's her money in a sense, once you become a daughter-in-law and move out of the house, do you have control over your finances? In some families, you do. Yeah, there's no issue. In Bangalore and all, maybe. But in some families, you may not, no? It becomes a problem. So there were these two voices in her head. One said, hey, you know what, it's my salary and I can do with it what I want. The other voice is telling her, no, discuss it with your future husband. Talk about it before you say yes to this alliance. But then what will my parents feel? They'll be heartbroken if I don't marry this boy, right? So that is the dilemma that she has. And then there are some, questions that are asked. What are some unwritten rules about finances that are guiding Zahira's thinking? What are the rules that are guiding her thinking? Why is she having all these doubts? Ah, exactly, right? So one is you don't talk about money. Secondly, it is that once I get married and go into another house, I have to take permission somewhere that they have to allow you exactly that, taking permission becomes very important, right? So all these doubts are there and she's not even able to express it to anyone. Even to be able to talk to her would-be husband whom she's going to spend the rest of her life with. It's a different kind of intimacy with a spouse. And I'm not talking physical intimacy, but you share every thought, right? Even that she's, finding it, yeah, she's hesitating to share with him. What a dilemma for her, right? So the book is full of these kind of stories. Stories about work and career. This one is about finances. There's one more about me time, about a very successful professional who suddenly, you know, unsure of herself, doesn't know what to do. So yeah, this is basically what the book is all about. It's kind of something that you can read on your own, at your own time, at your own pace. You can start wherever you like. You want to start with a story right at the end, please do that. And there's a last section which is called the Professional Woman's Toolkit, which has a bunch of tools for time management and prioritization, for managing stress, the usual work-life balance, right? So I've given my own perspectives and things that work for me. Hopefully it'll work for the readers. So do I still have time?
You have 5 minutes.
I have 5 minutes. Oh, I am super efficient. Oh my God. So maybe if there are some questions, shall we take up some questions, make it a little more interactive? Otherwise, I feel like I'm just, talking at you. Yes. I was 49 when this happened. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So at that time, and this is a great question, right? Because the feeling was there even a few years before, but it really, I think I allowed that feeling to come up and come out at this age because at that time, I think I was well established in my career. My husband had gone through his midlife crisis, so he left corporate, he works with Azim Premji University, so he went off there. My son had gone to the US for his study. He was doing quite well, huh? I know, exactly. I had time to think for myself. That's such a beautiful way of putting it. And that's when, and I allowed myself to think about all this because until that age, you're like, no, I have responsibilities and I need to stay focused. And, that little bit of tension of I have to look after everyone, right? And my husband and I, basically, we are primary caregivers for his parents and my parents. So their health issues, managing all that was, still working in my mind. And at that age, that stage came where, I just allowed myself and I said, okay, fine, let's take the plunge and dekha jayega. After the plunge, of course, there were it had its own challenges. Post that, maybe that will be another book. Who knows? We'll see if I have the energy. Any other questions? Yeah. How to overcome? Yes. So I have given some solutions, but you know, it is not one size fits all. I can give you 5 different solutions. It may not work for you. What is really important is you reflect that for me, my personality and my context, what is it that will work? But the most important thing is to give importance to yourself and say that, hey, you know what, it's worth it for me to take help, it's worth it for me to do what I need to solve my problems. That is very important. Yes,
Vanilla. Hello.
that's right. Yeah,
She's meant to
yes.
do. After that, now next is her. Can you just check with her? Ask her to hurry. Quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, one part of it is conditioning, but you know what? If you look at like 50, 60 years back, right? Like your grandparents, for example, it was very simple and easy. The roles were very clear. Yeah, the guy goes to work, the lady takes care of the home. You know, the roles were balanced. Somewhere along the way, what has happened is women have also started working. But the men have not been given the message by society, hey, you know what, your wife is working now and managing life, in a sense, is responsibility for both. So while women have started doing both, men haven't started doing both. Yeah. Even today, I think it is a very small minority. Possibly now, people who are getting married now and maybe in the last 5, 6 years, you find men more open to, taking care of the home, taking care of the child, taking equal responsibility, things like that. But still that template and the wiring is there, and it's not just in the mind of men. Even for women, we somehow feel that, no, I need to do it. You know, even for me, I took decades to hire a cook. I would struggle. I would make breakfast, I'd make lunch, pack dabba for my son, come back home at 7 in the evening, make dinner. Somehow, then finally I said, okay, fine, we'll hire a cook. Yeah, but then only for dinner. And Sundays I'll do everything. So somewhere that bias or that wiring is still there very much in us, that, it is my responsibility, I need to do. We are not fully out of it. Someday.
What helped you to
Absolutely. Yes.
We feel guilty taking rest.
Very guilty resting.
Yeah, only if you finish all work in the kitchen, house, everything, then you have earned your rest.
You have earned it, but then by then you're already thinking of something else. Right? Yeah, yeah.
Getting that inner dialogue, telling yourself that it's okay. I think that is also key.
Absolutely. And it's okay if things aren't perfect. Yeah, it's fine. Chalega.
There's a story going on which says very clearly that when you are in a, you're a family, a unit, as a husband and a wife, and you have kids around, and the wife is juggling all roles,
Yeah.
trying to work, she's working, because that's a hobby and a passion that she wants to pursue, as well as taking care of the child comes mandatory to a woman. It's the connection that we have, the ambukrita or connection. Plus, husband ka dhyan kaise nahi rakhenge. So you do all that, you take it on yourself. But what happens if something happens to the wife?
Exactly.
The next
Absolutely.
day, the guy is hiring a help, a driver, everything, while you were doing all that. So today's girls, when you're doing a full-time job, you're bringing some extra money in the family, right? Use it to make time for yourself. So you have quality time with each other. That's what I feel.
Thank you. There's just one more question. Can I take that? Yeah.
Your own challenge.
Yeah. So I think within the first couple of weeks were okay of not going to work every day. After that, I had so much time on my hands. Honestly, I didn't know what to do. I was bored and I kind of felt worthless. What am I bringing to the house? what earlier at least I was, there was money coming in, I was contributing in a way to the household. Suddenly there was none of that. So I would find myself furiously cleaning the kitchen one day, spending like 4 hours cleaning the kitchen, which may or may not have needed cleaning. But just to satisfy the need. Oh, okay, today I have done something worthwhile. I think that for me was the biggest challenge. The second challenge was, while I had said I don't need the money, I realized some kind of income is very important for my own self-worth, for my own self-confidence. So now I have arrived at a magic number that every year I plan in such a way, I'm earning this much, uske baad chhod do. Hota hai to hota hai, nahi to jane do. I'm okay with that. Yeah. That was this particular exercise. One is the passion for the subject. And secondly, I realized that what am I losing? Let me try it. And I knew if I want, I'll get another job. I'm good enough to get another job. That I knew. Exactly. Thank you so much, everyone. I had a super good time. Thank you very